Hello, so today I want to show you how to create a cactus. So first we want to establish a ground plane so that our cactus isn't floating. And then you're going to use a rainbow line or an arch and come up and around to create your cactus's body. You can add an arm to your cactus by going over, up and around, and back over. You can do the same thing on this side so that your cactus is symmetrical if you want. And then you can even make this more interesting by adding a face to your cactus to make it more like a cartoon. So maybe drawing some ovals. You could even make one oval a little bit smaller. Adding another oval. And then a small circle and coloring around your circle to create that little shine in your cactus's eye. So there's my cactus's eyes, and I can add some eyelashes if I want. I could add some eyebrows. Maybe you want to make your cactus look surprised, angry, happy. It's really up to you what emotion your cactus is going to be feeling, and you don't even have to create a face on your cactus. This is just if you want to. So I'm going to have it, since it kind of looks like he's looking up, I'm going to go ahead and add maybe like a bird nest. You don't have to do this, but if you want, you could. Just an idea, because you know he does have spikes, so maybe a bird decided to make a nest on top of his head. And so he's looking up. I'm going to give him some spikes real quick too. And these are just short, choppy lines for his spikes. You do want to carry those spikes around the arms. And same thing going around these arms. All right, so now I can finish my little bird nest. So maybe I have some birds coming up out of my nest. So we're going to draw these little round heads. And then I'm going to use a triangle to draw my beaks. So now it looks like some hungry little birds waiting for their mama. All right, so they're just chirping all day long, and little cactus man's just like, what on earth is going on? Because all he hears is the chirping. All right, so cactuses sometimes have flowers that bloom on them. So that's something else I might add. So I could add a flower coming up out of the cactus. And don't worry about those lines. When you add some color, you won't really see those. So I'm coming up at a curve, and then I'm just using a little bit of a wave line. I'm gonna layer this. And now I have a little flower. And I can do the same thing over here. So I come up at a curve, we could do both sides. Come back using a little bit of a wavy line. And then just add some layers. Okay, so now I want to create those sections in my cactus using a little wavy line. And of course I can add some other details. Maybe there's a sun up in the sky. Maybe I have some clouds. And then, of course, I can add some grass using a zigzag line or some triangles. I can add some in front too, making sure I make it bigger so that it appears like it's getting closer. I could even add some rocks. All right, so now my cactus drawing is all done. I could give him a mouth, but I kind of like this, just having the eyes and him looking up. So I'm going to show you how you can add some color to this. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You could alternate and color one stripe with the light green, the next with the dark. Or you could color the whole thing green, light green, and then go back and add some areas of shading. I'm going to go ahead and use the stripe. Create those alternating stripes of color. So I'm just going to skip a space and then color my next space with light green. Okay, now I'm going to go back and color in the other space with my dark green, and while I'm doing that, I might even add just a wee bit into my light green areas, just to give it some more detail. And I'm coloring in his stripes, just using another green to create what we call contrast. It's when colors kind of stand out against each other. Alright, so now my cactus is all colored. I can go in and color some flowers. So I'm going to use this pinkish red, it's violet red, and color in my flower, making sure I'm going side to side as much as possible to avoid any scribble scrabble. I can take a darker color, this is a red violet, it's just a little bit darker, and add some shading just around the bottom of my petals. And then now, of course, I can color my grass and my ground. So I'm just gonna make my ground brown, but then I'll go back and color in my grass. And if I get outside the lines just a little bit, it's not too big of a deal. You can try little circular motions to try to get into those small spaces a little bit easier. Alright, so now I can take my green, color in my grass. If you wanted to, you could add those bits of dark areas just to give it more detail. Alright, so then for your bird's nest, if you want, you can color that brown. I am going to take some black out, a little bit of gray. Color your birds. So I'm going to use the gray to color in my rocks. And then I'll also use some of this to fill in my white space that's left in my ground. And I'll use some of the black to shade into the bird's nest. Color my sun yellow. Use a little bit of orange. And then last but not least, my sky. So I ended up grabbing an indigo blue, which is fine because, you know, skies can be different shades of blue. Indigo blue has a little bit of purple in it. Color this half, and then I'm almost done. I just gotta color those little beaks on the birds. Some yellow. Alright, and that's my cactus drawing. So I hope you had fun, and I I hope, you know, feel free to make it your own. You don't have to do exactly what I did. That's just some ideas, tips, pointers. All right, so have a great day. Bye.